everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we'll be doing a soak off and a full set. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going in with my tip cutter and I'm cutting down her nails all the way. So this set I actually didn't do. I was gone for her prom. I think I was in Miami, so she ended up going to somebody else. And she had a couple of broken nails, so we're just going to go ahead and do a new set. So for this, I'm using my medium drill bit, and I'm just filing down the acrylic. And that way, whenever they start soaking, they're not so thick and they soak out faster. And you also want to make sure that you cut them down as low as you can. That way, you're not wasting just acetone on soaking unnecessary acrylic. So make sure you cut it down really, really low. So after this, we're just going to get the little bows with the acetone. We're going to fill them up, and then we're going to let her nails soak. And when you're soaking nail soft, you want to make sure that you use 100% acetone or pure acetone. These are the little containers that I'm using to soak the nail soft. You could also use aluminum foil and cotton balls and acetone, or the little clips. But this is a little bit easier for me because you don't have to keep taking off the little foils or the clips. So we're gonna let them soak for a bit, and then I'm gonna go back in with my medium drill bit and file off some of that acrylic that's already soaked off, and that way you're speeding up the process. You will also see me just take off some of that soaked off acrylic with the paper towel. That way whenever I file the acrylic, it's not jumping everywhere. So once again, this is a medium drill bit, and we're just filing some of that acrylic off. That way it can speed up the process. And make sure that she has her other hand in the bowl while you do this. That way they're soaking still. And this process usually takes about 30 minutes. I like to kind of speed it up by filing the acrylic off a little bit as I can. But other than that, you just let them soak. Something else that you could also do would be ask them if they want their toes polished, and if they do, just go ahead and do their toes while their nails are soaking. And then usually by the time their nails soak off, or usually by the time that you're done doing their toes, the acrylic is completely soaked off, and then you can just go ahead and start on the full set. Alrighty, so this hand is completely soaked off. So now I'm going to go in and push back the cuticles, as well as cut down her nails and shape them up a little. And then after that, I'm going to go in and remove the shine from the natural nail. Once again, I'm pushing back the cuticles, cutting down her nails, filing them, and then removing the shine. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with my 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. And remember, this part is really important. You want to make sure that you remove all the shine, but you also want to be careful to not file down on a nail too hard, because it will cause friction and it will cause you'll cause your client's nail to burn. So be careful with that, but also make sure that you get all the shine, because if not, you will have lifting. So same thing for the other hand. We're going to go ahead and finish removing the acrylic. We're going to file off whatever's left. And then after that, we're going to cut the nails down, push the cuticles back, and then prep her nails. Alrighty, so her nails are ready for the tip application. So for this, I'm using my clear nail tips and my KDS glue. So I'll have both of these on my website again. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm waiting on a couple of orders and I'll be ready to launch again. Once again, I'm using my clear nail tips, and remember, when you're applying tips, if one tip's too small and the other one's too big, always go with the bigger one and then just file it down a little bit. And that's what I'm gonna have to do with this ring finger. The one before that is too small, and then the one after that is too big because I actually ran out of the one that would fit it perfectly. So I'm having to go up a size and then just file it down to fit perfectly. You want to make sure that the tip is not on the skin, because if not, that will cause the nail to lift. So make sure it fits from sidewall to sidewall perfectly. Once again, I'm using my KDS glue, and if the tip is too small or too big, always go with the bigger one and just file it down a little bit. Okay, so after we apply the tips, we're gonna go back with our tip cutter and just cut them down to the desired length. And then after this, we're gonna measure them against each other to make sure that they are all the same length. And she does want the coffin shape, so I'm gonna go in with a nail clipper and I'm just gonna cut the sides of the tip. That way it saves us time when we're shaping and we don't have to do as much work. So remember, you gotta work smarter and not harder. So whatever little things you can find that's gonna help you save time, do it. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with my nail file and I'm just going to shape the nails. So we are doing a coffin shape, so remember, just alternate from side to side. And then when you do the tip, make sure you file at a 90 degrees angle to make sure that you have a really nice and straight nail. And then we're going to blend it right in the middle. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with my primer, which is my OPI Bondex. And remember, the only reason why I use this primer is because I have a lot of it. But if you have a primer that matches your acrylic system, then just use that. And then after this, we're going to go in with our Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink. And I get this from eBay, so I'll leave the link in the description. And for my brush, I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 9. So as you can see, I place my bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet. And then the next bead will go right under that one. And remember, you want to make sure that you clean your brush off a lot as you go. You don't want any of that acrylic to keep getting stuck to your brush. And remember, you don't have to stick to the 4-ball method. Whatever works for you is fine. Just make sure you work smarter and not harder. You don't want to do a lot of acrylic and then have a lot of filing to do. So be careful with that.
Invincible.
So once again, I dip my brush into the liquid and the powder. I put my bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, and then I brush it down towards the tip. You want to make sure you are able to control your acrylic. If it starts moving over to the sides, make sure you go ahead and clean it off really fast before it gets dry, because if not, it will get hard and it will be hard to remove, and that will cause lifting. And remember to always clean around the cuticle area really good to prevent lifting, because if not, it will be a disaster. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go in with our hand filed and we're gonna reshape the nails. So she already has that coffin shape, but we're just making sure that it is nice and even and there's no little bumps or lumps on the sides or no excess acrylic hanging off the nail. So we're just gonna redefine that shape. Once again, we're using a 80-100 nail file. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go in with my e-file and I'm gonna give you a close-up look so you can see how close I get to that cuticle area. So as you can see, I start from one side and move to the other, and then I just keep doing this until I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylics start. That way you know that you are not touching the skin with the acrylic and you won't get any lifting. So once again, this is how it look at first, and then you just go from side to side with your drill, and then make sure that you seal that acrylic really good, because any little water or anything that gets under that nail will cause the nail to lift. So you want it to be nice and sealed back there. If you are doing everything else correctly and you're still getting lifting, most likely you are not filing this area really good. So be careful and always make sure you go back. Alrighty, so once again, we focus on that cuticle area. Make sure you just go back and forth. You want to be able to see where their cuticle is, where their natural nail is, and where the acrylics start. And then after that, you just follow the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Now, if you work smarter and not harder and you don't use a lot of acrylic, you won't have a lot of following to do as far as the rest of the nail because it'll be nice and smooth. But make sure you seal that acrylic really good around that cuticle area so you don't have lifting. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with a buffer, and when we're buffing the nails, that's to make sure that your nail is nice and smooth and you don't have any scratches on the nail, because if not, you will be able to see that through your polish. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in with this holographic polish by Color Club in the color Just My Luck, which is the color that I use under my bling. It's like a really pretty holographic silver. And for the rest of the fingers, I'm going to go in with this gel polish in the color NY Islanders by D&D. And I get these from my local nail supply store. It comes with a gel polish and a regular polish for under $7. So I'll leave that link in the description because I did find a website that has some for, I think, like $6.25 if I'm not mistaken, but I'll leave that link in the description. And once again, this is in the color NY Islanders, and then I'm using my 2-in-1 cleanup brush and nail art brush to clean around the cuticle area. Once again, this is the gel polish, so we're going to do that on the rest of her fingers except for her index finger. That's going to be clear, and then we're going to cure them for 30 seconds, and we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. So same thing on the other hand, we're doing the holographic polish in the color Just My Luck by Color Club. And then for the rest of the fingers, we're doing the NY Islanders by D&D. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the first hand and we're going to do a second coat, and then we're going to cure for another 30 seconds. Alrighty, so on the index fingers, I'm going to go in with this brown gel polish by Elite 99, and we're going to do kind of like a half circle, and that's going to be the middle of our flower, and we're going to do that on both, and we're going to cure each finger for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to come back and do the petals. Alrighty, so for this I'm going to be using my Twin One Cleanup and Nail Art brush, which will be on my website soon. And then that orange is the same orange we use, except for this is the regular polish. So as you can see, this one's a little bit more orangey, like a lighter orange, but it's supposed to be the same color. Like they come in the same pack together. One's gel, one's regular polish, but for some reason this one's a little bit lighter, and I noticed that when I was doing a flower. And it was easier for me to do it with the regular polish. I tried doing it with the gel and it was too runny, so that's why I switched over to the regular polish. But then we're going to let this one cure or dry because it is a regular polish, and then we're going to do the other one as well. Alrighty, and then I'm going to go in with some white, which is a regular polish, and I'm just going to do a couple of random little dots on the center of the flower.
Invincible.
So now I'm going to go in with my Mia Secret gel resin, my wax pencil, my SS6, and my SS12 bling, and we're going to do the whole pinky with rhinestones. Once again, I'm using my Mia Secret gel resin. You can find that on eBay, and I'll leave the link in the description. And then I'm using my wax pencil and my rhinestones. And remember, my website is down, but it'll be up pretty soon, so stay tuned for that, and I'll make sure that I post about it ahead of time before I launch the website again. Okay, so now we're going to go in with my IBD gel top coat, and we're just going to do that on the rest of the nails. And for the one with the flower, you want to make sure that it is completely dry before you do a gel top coat, because the petals were regular polish, so I'm going to make sure that that is completely dry. And then we're going to cure this for 60 seconds. Alrighty y'all, so this is the final look. They turned out super pretty, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you guys in my next video.